Hi everyone, Juan Finance here. Thank you for tuning in. We have here top performing equity funds as of fourth quarter 2020. So here are the features of equity funds: high risk, high potential returns, recommended for aggressive investors, and ideal investment horizon is at least 5 years. Now for our equity funds, peso currency, we have here our benchmark, the PSEI. So we have the Philippine Stock Exchange Index, and it's actually trading around 7,139 ending December. If you're going to look at here, we actually came from around 4,000 level during the peak of our COVID lockdowns. But if you're going to look at that, 7,000 is pretty much not yet the pre-COVID level. I think we are around 7,400 or 500 before the COVID um, hit us. Okay, so moving on, we have here our top performing equity funds in peso denomination. On top of our list, we have Atram performing 32.9%. Manulife 31.5, Manulife Asia 19.85, Manulife we have 12, and BPI Invest US equity at 8.51%. Now, what if you have 100,000 and then you invested in these funds, let's say a year ago? For Atram, that would have given you 32,940 in return. And then for Manulife Dragon, that's 31,580. For Manulife Asia, 19,850. For Manulife, that's 12,020. And for BPI Invest, around 8,510. So let's try to look at global tech feeder of Atram here. Oh, this is very, very affordable. Only 1,000 for minimum investment and additional investment, still 1,000. No holding periods. It's very liquid. You can just redeem your investment anytime, but the price will be subject to prevailing market conditions. Now, we are actually reviewing here November 2020 disclosure because the December was not yet available during the time of review. So for trust fee here, going back 0.87%, very minimal. And then the fund is recommended to investors with aggressive risk appetite, and then who are comfortable with volatile and risky movement of the equity fund. And of course, the investment horizon is long term. So we're talking about at least 5 years or more than 5 years. So for our portfolio allocation, if you're going to look at here, we have 99% on a feeder fund, global tech. So if you can recall, we have a video in our playlist about feeder fund versus fund of funds. So this one here is actually a feeder fund. So it tracks a specific target fund outside the Philippines. So here we have the Global Tech Fund. And if you're going to look at here, the performance of the fund for a month, that's 15, for 6 months, 26, and for 1 year, that's 33%. So since it's a feeder fund, so we expect that it would mirror the performance of the target fund, which is the Global Tech Fund. Okay, so standard deviation is pretty much high here at 24. Okay, so moving to um, the details of the target fund here. So we have the Global Tech Fund, and our investment manager is Phil Investment. And if you wanted to explore more about the target fund, the performance, and so on and so forth, you may search for this international identification code. So you have LU10464217995. And the top components of the target fund, we have here the giants, or Apple, Samsung, Google, Microsoft, and so on and so forth. So your regional exposure is spread all throughout the globe. You have US, of course, the largest region with allocation of 67%, the rest in Asia, and Eurozone. So next we have our dollar equity funds, and the benchmark we have here our S&P 500 performing very bullish since the March dip. You have 3,756, which is actually way above the pre-COVID level. So here we have our dollar equity funds or yeah, if you're going to look at here on top of our list, we have Atram US equity at 40.20%, Manulife Dragon at 38, BDO China 37. You have your Pru Invest at 33 and Pru Invest USD Global Tech 33.06%. So what if you have $10,000 and then you invested in these funds for Atram? That's your return could have been 4,020, and for Manulife that's 3,891. For BDO China that's 3,700. For Pru Invest of Fund 1 that's 3,300, and for Fund A Pru Invest that's $3,306. Now let's try to explore Atram's US Equity Opportunity Feeder Fund. So here we have minimum investment, only 1,000, and then additional investment is 500. No minimum holding period, so that's very liquid. And then if you're going to look at here, that's 0.82% for your trust fee. And then the fund is recommended to aggressive clients and who are comfortable with the volatility and risk of the equity market or the equity fund. And then horizon is long term, so at least 5 years. Now, looking at the performance of the fund, we have here for 1 month, 9.73%. For 6 months, 24%. For 1 year, that's 38.65% rather. So here you're looking at the portfolio composition. So since it's a feeder fund, so we expect that it's actually tracking one target fund outside the Philippines. So if we're going to look at here, it's completely mirroring the performance of the fund with standard deviation of 25.14. So if you're not yet familiar with feeder funds or fund of funds, so kindly check our video in our playlist so you can have a very short idea about what is a feeder fund and how does a feeder fund differ from a global fund of funds. So going back here, we have our target fund. We have the FTIF, Franklin US Opportunities Fund, and then the identification code is LU019594486665. So if you wanted to know more about this fund, you can just search on this one. So your sector exposure is infotech, healthcare, and consumer discretionary, with majority of your allocation at least 10%. And here are our sources. So that's all for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope that you learned something. Please do like the video, and if you want others to understand, kindly share this video. And if you need to know more, kindly subscribe so you won't miss any future videos that we're going to make. Thanks for dropping by.